Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and welcome to another narrated Pokemon Wi-Fi battle. Today's battle is an underused match against an opponent by the name of TrainerGuti, who is an up-and-coming YouTube battler. We've had a couple of conversations on Skype, and he's a really good battler and just an overall nice guy, so if you want to go check him out after this video is over, I will leave a link to his channel in the description. But to talk about our teams a little bit, I'm using a kind of a new team that I've never really used before on this channel. I'm kind of just wanting to use a mix of different guys in my UU boxes that I haven't really used before. So I am using an Ambipom, which I did feature in my last video, but that was kind of for different purposes. Same one, I'm also using a bulk up Scrafty with Rest, a special attacking Azelf, no choice item on this one, though I do have a choice Scarfed Azelf in my box as well, a toxic stalling Zapdos, a lead Nidoqueen that you have seen me use before, and my Milotic, which I haven't used before in a Wi-Fi battle yet, but this is the one that carries the Rocky Helmet, along with the Rest, Sleep Talk, Dragon Tail, Scald combination. So it's a very good Pokemon overall, and I really enjoy using that one. But my opponent has some pretty good defenses going on with his team, especially in combination with Empoleon and Gligar, because those two work extremely well together. They complement each other's defenses very well. He also has a Shaman, which can be very threatening depending on the variant he's running, as well as a Darmanitan, which is always a problem to deal with, especially if they are Choice Scarfed or Choice Banded, because they just do way too much damage with their Flare Blitzes and all the other moves that they have. But overall, let's just jump into this thing right now and see how it goes. So to start things off, I decided to lead off with my Ambipom, as my opponent leads off with his Rotom. Now, being an Ambipom, I'm going to obviously want to go for the Fake Out on the first turn, so I do just that. It does a really good bit of damage to this Rotom, which shows me that it's either an offensive variant or a specially defensive variant, and that's good information for later. But not being able to KO it just yet with a double hit, I decided to just go for a U-turn on the following turn as he brings in his Gligar to take that extremely nicely. But I U-turn out into my Milotic, which is obviously going to be able to threaten this Gligar out pretty well. However, my opponent was not expecting me to be faster than him because Gligar normally outspeeds Milotic. So he just went for the U-turn on that turn. As I go for the Scald, outspeeding him, I get a critical hit here, which does matter in terms of killing this Gligar, but the damage from the Scald, along with the Rocky Helmet damage he would have taken if he did get off the U-turn, would have still been incredibly significant and made that Gligar really not able to stick around much longer for the rest of the battle after those two things occurred. But he makes a really good play in going into Shaman right here, and then scaring out my Milotic as I go into my Zapdos, and then he pulls a double switch on that same turn into his Porygon 2, which is going to be able to handle my Zapdos extremely well. And he also makes another incredible play right there, going for the Tri-Attack first, leading me to believe that he doesn't have Ice Beam, and then showing me that he does have Ice Beam on the following turn, which is going to do a huge amount of damage to me, but I do get a Toxic off in the process. Now, being able to kind of stay in here just for a little bit because I am a Zapdos with pressure, I can kind of threaten him out over time as I pressure stall some of his moves if I choose to do so. So I decided to go for one more sub right there and then go for a Roost on the following turn, knowing that the Ice Beam will do significantly less damage once I obviously lose my Flying typing after the Roost. However, he also makes a very good play, predicting the Roost, and then going for Tri-Attack on the following turn, which is going to land a critical hit, unfortunately, meaning that my Zapdos is going to go down right here. But still having a really good switch in to this Porygon 2, I decided to bring in my Ambipom. If I go for Fake Out and he stays in, it will do a really good bit of damage. He'll flinch and then take even more toxic damage, but he decides to make the good play, go out into his Empoleon right here. But I also do pack the super effective Low Sweep, and I didn't really expect him to go for Scald or Ice Beam right there. I was kind of more expecting Stealth Rock or maybe even Roar. So I just stay in and go for that pretty safely as he brings in his Rotom. Does a good bit of damage to this guy, but because of the damage I saw that Fake Out did before, I know I'm actually safe to stay in here and go for the double hit, which is going to be able to easily take out this Rotom from that range. But he does bring his Darmanitan here, and I cannot stay in even one bit from this with my Ambipom because of how powerful this thing is, and it's probably Scarfed. So I decided to go out into my Milotic here. If he goes for U-turn, I still have the Rocky Helmet, so that's going to still deal a bit of damage to him as he U-turns out into his Empoleon. Now, I'm not threatened by this Empoleon, but this Empoleon isn't threatened by me either, so I just stay in here, go for a Scald, maybe go for a couple just to try to get a burn. Luckily for me though, I do get a Scald on the first turn as he goes for his Stealth Rock, and then the following turn, now that I have gotten the Scald, decide to go for a Dragon Tail, which as you'll see right here actually outspeeds his Empoleon, meaning that he probably went for Roar on that turn. But I do Dragon Tail him out into the worst possible thing, which is this Shaman, which is going to threaten my Milotic out. I decided to just go into my Nidoqueen right here to kind of sacrifice it. As you're going to see, the Seed Flare does a ton of damage, so there is no way I'm even remotely going to survive 2. He also shows you that he does have Earth Power, which is going to be more than enough to take out this Nidoqueen at this range. But because this thing went down, it does give me a great opportunity to switch out into my Azelf right here, which is going to obviously have the Fire Blast to threaten this thing out. Now he does switch out into his Empoleon here to take that, but as I said before, I am not a choiced variant, I am a expert belted variant of Azelf, so I am also going to have the Thunderbolt on this Azelf, which is going to be able to easily take out this Empoleon from this range after the burn damage and all the prior damage that I got on it before. But again, he still has this Darmanitan around, which is going to go for the Flare Blitz right here. I decided not to switch out into my Milotic here to take that, just because I didn't want him to just go right out into his Shaman on the following turn. I really have nothing to handle the Shaman right now that the Zapdos is dead and now that my Azelf is dead. But I know I can live a Flare Blitz with my Scrafty, so I decided to just take that and go for a Drain Punch on the following turn to get up to a good amount of health once this Darmanitan goes down. Obviously the Drain Punch healing a bit of health back and also leftovers on the following turn. But he goes out into a Shaman here, and I'm not really sure what he was going to go for right there. He does show me he has Air Slash, however, a super effective Air Slash is actually less powerful than a Seed Flare, which is important to know because I am actually able to live that Air Slash, which I wouldn't have lived the Seed Flare, but he obviously could have missed, so it's not something that he probably wanted to risk right there. Luckily for me though, he does miss the second one as I get off, or as my Shed Skin activates, leaving me with now a fully healed Scrafty after I went for rest. I am able to get off a bit more damage on this Shaman through this Drain Punch right here, but because of the special defense drop that he got through the Seed Flare, he is easily able to take me out on the following turn. The Drain Punch didn't even do that much damage anyway, so it kind of didn't matter too much, but I am progressively racking up Life Orb damage on this thing. But I am able to switch out into my Ambipom right here in retaliation. Rather than go for Fake Out, I just decided to go for Double Hit, knowing I'll outspeed, and if he wanted to switch out, I would still get more damage on it, whatever he switched out into, than if I went for the Fake Out. But not wanting to clean up just yet with this Ambipom, I decided to U-turn out into my Milotic, and then just proceed to go for Scalds until this thing goes down, because by the time this Milotic does go down, it will be at a very low range of health due to the poison damage consistently racking up over time. He does reveal to me one of his last moves right here, which is Thunderbolt, and that is easily going to be able to take me out from that range because I think this is a more offensive Porygon too, as I might have said before. But with only a little bit of health left, and with my Ambipom obviously outspeeding this Porygon 2, I'm easily able to just go for the Fake Out on the following turn to take out this Porygon 2, giving me the victory. But that was it for this battle, everyone, so I hope you all enjoyed. This is a really fun team that I've been having a really good time using recently. I don't have any Choice Scarfers on this team, which does lead to some problems, but I kind of enjoy the challenge of not having a Choice Scarfer a little bit because it's so common to always have one, and I don't know, I just think it's a lot of fun to use this team even though it's not necessarily the most ideal underused team, because there still are a ton of threats that I will be having to deal with, like that Choice Scarf Darmanitan, who obviously will be outspeeding my entire team and things of that nature. But overall, it's just a really fun mix of guys that I really enjoy using, so I hope you enjoyed seeing them in action as well. But that is it for this video, everyone, so as always, take care, goodbye, and I will see you next time, and thank you, Guti, for this battle.